Super Dragon Ball Heroes, Episode 32, titled The Outcome of the Universe Creation, The Birth of the New World. My god, these titles are such a mouthful. It's fun, but jeez. Now, this episode actually requires a bit of background history upon the three, maybe four factions going into this. So I'll break it down as we go along. So Fu has managed to get all the energy that he needs to create a new universe. Although something isn't quite right about it. He calls it unsightly, the new universe that he's created. But he is still interested to see how it turns out once he unleashes it into the universe. Well, the ether that is around each universe, I guess you could say. So, as Zeno Vegito tries his best in order to stop Fu in any way possible, ultimately, Fu is able to release it and make sure that Zeno Vegito can't do anything about it for the most part. And with that, we see the continued battle. Now, here's where the factions start to come out. Now, Zeno Vegito is part of the Time Patrollers. They basically work under Kranoa, the Supreme Kai of Time, who makes sure that nothing alters the course of history. That's why Future Trunks ended up conscripted into the team. He messed with the past, created a time ring, all that good stuff. So ultimately, Kranoa had to, basically working under her is a form of punishment for what he did. Now, the other faction, that faction is under, well, kind of incorporated within Toa, who looks on as Fu's basically just doing whatever he wants. Now, when it comes to Toa, her whole thing is that she's from the far distant future, after Goku, Vegeta, all that good stuff. And she is the younger sister, I guess, to Deborah. Now, once she heard about as far as I know, a lot of this kind of hearsay and just bits and pieces I've picked up. Once she heard about what happened to Deborah during the whole Majin Buu situation, she wasn't happy about that. She felt that because of what happened, I guess the demon realm fell into disarray and it could have been much more powerful than it actually was. So, she went about going into the past and mucking around with time. She was stopped at various avenues, then she created Mira, this being who had various different Saiyan traits and all this and that. She even went as far as to marry him, which was weird. And he didn't have any real love for her, but he still follows her because technically she is his creator, which raises a lot of implications towards their relationship. But she created him to be this powerful warrior who would follow her will and bidding and do all this other stuff. Didn't work out. Then she went upon, resurrecting her brother, bringing him back, pulling him from a certain spot in time. And, the previous thing that she did was to unleash the Dark King, Dark Demon God, King, whatever, Michikabura, who ruled over the demon realm in millennia's past. And she followed him. He got defeated. We saw that episode, all that. But she still had his power, which she gave to Fu in order to once again try to bring the dark demon realm to prominence. So as a whole, her thing seems to just be getting vengeance upon those who did their kind wrong with the defeat of Deborah and all that, and also to bring the demon realm to a form of prominence. The problem with that is with Fu, he's not interested in any of that. Yes, Toa created Fu, but Fu doesn't really think of Toa in that way because he doesn't know that he was created by Toa. She never really explained any of that to him, so why would he follow her? But his whole thing is he wants knowledge. He wants to see what would happen. He's just interested in the creation process. That's his whole thing. So he's kind of a faction in and of itself. Although Toa is still trying to follow under him because he has the powers of the Dark Demon King and all that good stuff. So that's his whole angle. Meanwhile, you have Demigra, who's all about wanting to become the Supreme Kai of Time. That was his whole thing. I think he worked alongside Cronoa at one point, the Supreme Kai of Time, but he wanted her position. So he tried to take that over. He became more of a demonic entity. He's worked with Toa in the past, so trying to make it seem like he swore fealty to the demon realm and all that, but he had his own agenda, his own goals, his own way of doing things. He lost a few followers to the demon realm, and that's why he has Rubel here, who is basically his secretary and had actually infiltrated the Dark Demon realm and reported straight back to him. So we saw his former followers, Poutine, who apparently was working with Toa, but it's kind of hard to tell if she is working with Toa. And that's why all of this is so batshit confusing. There's too many moving parts, and I feel like we haven't really focused on enough of those things to actually flesh out this series. You're including all these characters who have these dense, dense affiliations, plot lines, backgrounds, and lore, but it feels like you're not spending enough time elaborating on any of this stuff. I know this is promotional material and just, little bits and pieces and minor stuff here and there, but man, come on, guys. I feel like there's something good here, but you're only scratching the surface of it. And Demigra's whole thing is that he feels that the whole Dark Empire stuff is a opposition to him. It'll get in his way, it'll become a nuisance. He wants to just do away with all of that stuff. So that's why he's going against what was essentially his former allies to a certain degree. So he's all like, "Oh man, this new king you got, he's not really much of a king, honestly." But Toa's having none of that, transforms into her demon goddess form, I guess. And apparently is infused with a lot of that dark energy that she had just kind of mulling around. But instead of Demigra fighting, Rubel decides to go in for the attack, transforming into her own dark demon god form and all that good stuff. So we get a nice little fight between them. Honestly, you're not really given enough context to really care about this fight, though. That's the problem. I'm interested because I want to know the history of all this, but a lot of that stuff is not readily available unless you read the manga, which honestly is kind of hard to come by in certain spots. If you know a good place to read this manga in any way, shape, or form, link it to me because it's just really hard to find this stuff outside of little clips and little postings here and there. It's not easy, but they're clashing. Fu and Zeno Vegito are clashing, and Demigra sees this as a good opportunity to unleash his ability Time Labyrinth, a spell that traps Vegito and Fu in basically a form of stasis. Now, this is something that a power that Cronoa had as well, and Toa's not really worried about this because when Cronoa tried it on Michikabura, he broke out of it pretty easily, and Fu has all the powers of Michikabura. So she's just like, okay, he's gonna break out of that pretty easily. But then Demigra gives this cryptic, I wonder about that. Like, is it powered up or is his plan something else entirely? And that's a question that you can obviously Toa has. It's just like, what's his angle here? So there's a lot of moving parts, but it's just like, God, you guys really gotta elaborate on some of this stuff. You give us little tastings and dollops of the whole background history of the Dark Empire and all this, but you're really not giving us enough to go off of. It's easy to follow the super stuff because it's just like you come off of Dragon Ball Super, it's just like boom, it's there. You come off of anything else, it's just like you gotta search all over. Dragon Ball Online, Dragon Ball Xenoverse, Xenoverse 2, Dragon Ball Heroes, the mobile game, the adverts they have, the manga. It's all over the place. So it's difficult to keep up with any of this. But we cut over to Vados and Whis, who have noticed, hey, there's a universe out there. That's weird. Maybe we should check in on what's going on with Goku and Vegeta. So we tries to sense where they're at, and we see that over in the newly created universe that Fu had made, that with super the version that we know of the super versions of Vegito, who took Broly and flung themselves into the newly created universe. We see Goku just waking up in what seems to just be what it was, it West City, the place where Capsule Corp is. So this new universe just seems to be a mirror image of the regular universe, which raises a lot of questions. What is this newly created universe? What's the result of it? Has it just created like weird reflections of our heroes? What's going on here? So I'm interested enough to just see where all of this goes, but again, there's a lot of background that's left out. There's a lot of details that's left out. There's so many moving parts here that it's just like, Dragon Ball Super Dragon Ball Heroes isn't that interesting in terms of, you know, certain characters, but when you do get the interesting characters, you have to go to different source materials to actually find out why you should be interested in these characters. So that really is the downfall of this, because it could be a rich, dense lore, but you know, this series is not doing any of those plot lines justice. Honestly, that's kind of why I would love to have the Dark Empire fully incorporated into the series. It's just like, because I want them to do something with this. There's a lot of potential with these demon characters that they're not really doing anything with. And that's sad, because it's just like that's solid Dragon Ball lore, plot lines, the whole history. Toa, in and of herself, could be a main character, and we could just follow her going throughout time, mucking about things, trying to unleash new rulers of the demon realm, and failing at that. Like, Toa has a story in and of herself, and I feel like we really need to elaborate on that, but I know we never will, because that's just how it goes. But tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. Did you find any of my information useful, or did you kind of just go like, I already know all this. In fact, you were wrong on a lot of places. And if you know anything, please fill me in, because obviously I would love to know more about a lot of this stuff, because I love Dragon Ball. That's why I'm reviewing this stuff. But at the same time, it's just like, it's really hard to come by in a lot of places. So, comment section below, do all that YouTube stuff or don't. It's all up to you. And until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and I will see you later. Bye bye.